again.
But can you, from beginning?
Yeah.
Like, can you see it now?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
We can.
Okay,
But it's not
so
presentation.
okay, so I already talked about my job for my income and needing a extra income. And that was the real reason why I wanted to invest, because I wanted to invest to get an extra income, because I found out that not having an extra income stream is a problem. So like I said before, I thought of my life as a income as a table. And if only one leg to support the table, if one leg breaks, the table collapses. But if you have multiple legs to support the table, if one leg breaks, the table wobble but remains standing. And I think of the table as your life and the legs as your income streams. Set yourself with multiple streams of income so that your life doesn't collapse if one fails. So I thought about this, but then the next thing is where to invest it and what to invest in. So I did a list of things. Where did I invest? And I found out these were important to me. I wanted a place that my money will stretch. And I was thinking about, my friend said that, well, she knows a person that may want to invest too. So she got me and Joshua together. And so he was telling me how great Nigeria was to invest. So I also looked and researched for myself. So I found out the Nigerian naira right now is 360 naira per USD dollar. And I wanted a place with a lot of resources. And I found out that Nigeria had petroleum, oil, ore, limestone, and many more. I wanted a place free from war, a stable government that I am free to do the things that I needed to invest in. And the government was stable. I wanted a place where I'm needed and not saturated, where there's so many people there. And I found places where I couldn't get in, and it was so many people invested in so many things that I could not get in to invest in. I wanted to go into agriculture because my background is in biology, and I wanted to go into agriculture because of what the president was saying when I researched it, and what Joshua was saying, that it was a good market to be in. And then I felt that there was a need. I wanted a place that would allow me to export, and Nigeria at that particular time, because we started this 4 years ago, and Nigeria at that particular time wanted less people importing in, and then but wanted to export their own goods within the country. I wanted a place that allowed me to do what I wanted to do in business, without any limitations as far as agriculture. You couldn't do this as a foreign person. You can't do this. And Nigeria didn't have that limit for me to do that. Like I said, hold on. Previous. Like I said, my partner said it was a great deal to do, and he was a consultant in land. So he was saying, if you do this, I can get you some land. He knew how to talk to people. So I didn't have to hire anybody to do the things I needed to do. He was there. He helped me along the way. And he helped us. So that was good. We had an in-house person that helped us. The president was saying in 2016, about the time that we were trying to get this together, and there was Boko Haram was happening around that time, and he didn't want everybody to rely on just oil. He wanted to have an agricultural part of it, and he wanted people to get back into doing agricultural things and making it better, raw materials, having a higher value product, and he wanted imports rather than everybody importing in. He wanted to export their own agricultural things. And I thought, well, that's where I am needed. So I wanted to do that. And he also felt that the agricultural thing, and it was a lifeline. And I felt that too. And I liked the idea that he wanted people to invest in. So this, from the Nigerian president, this is what I heard. I should invest in agriculture. Nigeria had a large population, and agricultural services needed because of what the president was saying. I should establish exportation by establishing a processing plant. And as an American, I want to establish logistics between Africa and the USA. And with that, I joined GABA, and GABA was a platform that understood that and wanted to do the same thing. And that was really a great thing, because at 2016, I didn't see a lot of people trying to invest in Africa. You know, I heard a little bit, but it wasn't a lot of people. And by me joining GABA, I saw a framework there. People were engaging and no negative, and people wanted to do the things that I was trying to do. And they made me feel that this is where you should be. Great, do what you need to do. No negative talking about, oh, don't invest and things like that. So they understood what I was trying to do. And I wanted to establish jobs in the community. Now we have seasonal jobs, and we are needed there, and it does establish, what we're doing does establish jobs in that community in Djibouti. And then between me and Joshua, we wanted to establish generational wealth within our families, something that when we're gone, it was still going on and on. So that was a great big issue, or not issue, but what we wanted to do and what I wanted to do versus, and what Joshua wanted to do, to lay down some foundation. And then I wanted to see more Black owned than Chinese and Indians owned when it came to processing. And I saw that and a lot of issues, that in order to do processing plan, if you want to process your cashews, if you want to process your palm, if you want to process different things, there were Indians there. And I said, well, I wanted to establish something where we have a Black owned business in Nigeria. Okay. Now, are there other places to invest in? The answer is yes. We just write a list about what, for me, just write a list about what you want to do, decide, and make sure you have a contact. And that was a great help to me, that I did have a contact there. I wasn't going alone in doing things. I had a contact there who understood what I was trying to do, what he was trying to do, and we collaborated and came together. Also, within GABA, we have bomalink.com and network, where if you need a contact, if you need information, you have bomalink.com, and you can sign up, state what you wanted. And that was a nice thing too, state what you need. And we did not have that 4 years ago. I was in groups and found people who wanted to invest in Africa, or people or Africa that need investors, you know, and that's where I came in, and I surrounded myself with people like that, with like-minded people. And in this, you have to surround yourself with like-minded people, because you get a sense of, if you don't, you have people that not sure of what they want, or not sure of investing, so you might get a little negative in there. And so I pushed that aside and got with people who were investing and who wanted to see what I was doing, and it was easier for me because I saw what they were doing. I got with people that shared things, logistics wise, just everything. So that was a great help for me. I also invest in Ghana. I do pineapples with me and my sorority sister, which is Tama, and she's working in Ghana too. And what we're trying to do there is do a pineapple processing plant, because one of the Ghanaians who asked us if we would mind doing that, is that they did not have a Black processing plant. So that's something that we are trying to do. And we harvested like a month ago 40,000 pineapples, and we sold them. We didn't sell them to the companies because we didn't get a great deal out of the companies. They came first and wanted us to sell all the pineapples that went straight to them. Well, we didn't. We allowed the Ghanaians to come in there and to harvest and to pick their own pineapples, and for that, and they gave us a better price. I thought that was important, because even though I'm there for the people, and it allowed them to either get pineapples for themselves, for their restaurants and things like that. So instead of being exported to Europe, and I found that a lot of the companies there, as far as this Ghanaian was telling me, is that when they harvest the pineapples, they have big trucks. It goes straight from there, straight to Europe. So I was happy to be on ground where the Ghanaians were allowed to pick the pineapples, get what they need, and give us a great price, give us a fair price. And then we make more money that way than allowing the companies to come in there and sweep up all our pineapples. So that was a great feeling. Ghana is another place where they that a lot of people opportunities for investments. If you're willing to put in the labor and do the job, and you can create wealth. But it doesn't it doesn't come on a silver platter. It has hard work and wise investments. Farming in Ghana had a traumatic turn due to better direction in recent years. They created jobs, opportunities for entrepreneurs who dare to go into farming business. Millionaires were created, you know, if you continue to work hard and reinvest in your company. Every year through Ghana, there is certainly no end to prospects, more wealth through farming in the coming years, and there are good reasons why Ghana is doing so well. And understanding these reasons will help you no matter where you come from. So the reasons that it has a huge population, 29 million people, and more than 80% Ghanaians farm their own farms and things like that. So, and they buy their market and produce from the market. And that's really a good thing right there, because if you're doing farming and they don't buy from their market, then they go to the grocery store, then it's kind of rough. But Ghanaians buy their farm produce from the market. So that's really good for us, because they come to farm and things like that. Ghana has a large expanse of farmlands allowing a fallow across the nation. So you have a lot of farmland that you can allow to get farming land there. So it's not something that you cannot do. The Ghanaian government is seriously turning its attention to promote farming in Ghana to help boost food productions in the country and minimize food importation. The government is willing to assist any who would be willing to entrepreneurs and investors with the necessary supports and logistics. One program that I do know they do have there is that if you're a farmer that has land, but you cannot, you're not able to get the materials to farm, the government will let you give you the materials that you need to farm. But the thing is that, and I think they have something like that in the United States too, that they will tell you what to farm, and then when harvest comes, they will buy from you. Some people like that, and they do have, when the market and the farms were going down in the United States, some of the government will allow to go in there and farm and not buy up, but tell them I want you to do soy, I want you to do corn. And then when that happens and it's harvest time, they buy it up. Some people like that. In Ghana, there's a lot of farming ideas. There's pineapple farming, which I do also, cocoa, coffee, papaya, cassava, plantains, banana plantations, maize, vegetables, and mining. I don't know a lot about that, but there is mining there, globally known for its possession of all 4 major mineral resources, namely gold, diamonds, manganese, bauxite. It's the largest producer of gold with a record production of 80.5 T in 2008. Other minerals that are available are natural gas, petroleum, silver, and salt. So it's a huge area in the country. So it's a huge foreign investment that if you'd like to go into that. There are 23 large-scale mining companies operating in the extractive industry in Ghana. So there's a lot of investment possibilities. The production of industrial minerals for both local and international consumption. So that's just one area that you can go. So you don't have to really go into agriculture to do something. It's limitless. They also have application process of industrial minerals in the areas of construction. So you want to go into construction, ceramics, paints, electronics, filtration, plastics, glass, detergents, and paper. So you're not just contained into agriculture. There's a lot of other things that you can invest in. And although a large majority of large-scale mining companies are multinationals, small-scale mining in Ghana is exclusively reserved for Ghanaians. So for someone like me, they want me to go into something like a large scale, and then Ghanaians, they can do it for, and it's a reason for that is that they don't want to be exploited. So that's one of the reasons. The mining industry in the country accounts for 5% of the country's GDP, with minerals making up 37% of total export. Land ownership. Land is one of the top soft properties acquisitions in Ghana. It's the land price has soared up tremendously because of demand for foreigners, expatriates seeking investments in Ghana. So land is not really cheap. It's a lot. Trying to own land can be strenuous. It can also be very rewarding when the documents are original and authentic. So you should get someone that a real estate agent that is very, very good, that you can trust, and that will deal you the right thing. The most rewarding part of owning land in Ghana is when the land is at a business potential location, like malls, markets, cities, and higher rate of return on investments. But it's also good like that for agriculture, because if you have something, a produce that needs to be, when you harvest, it needs to be gone to the market right away, then you should have transportation and a way of getting that. If you have an agricultural land that that your harvest or what you're planting can wait, then you have the object of being you have the object of maybe the transportation. It takes longer to get from there to the market because your produce can keep. So getting land in a strategic part or a strategic place is very, very good. Technically, owning land in Ghana as a company or individual is mostly on a lease basis. You cannot own land as a company or individual indefinitely. Leases vary for 25 to 150 years. So what I am told, and this is what I'm saying, I said, well, what happened to after 150 years? But they were saying something like, well, after 150 years, everybody who you made contact are not even here. So technically you own the land. So, I would suggest you go to a real estate agent, and that real estate agent can negotiate on how long you own it, because Ghanaians, they have a shorter lease times, whereas foreigners have a longer lease time. Real estate sector in Ghana is booming. Never before the history of Ghana has the industry so flourished. And like I said, because a lot of people are repatriating back to Ghana, so they want land, they want places to live. So the real estate is really going up. And like I said, foreigners in Ghana can own land and property within this space very, very easily. So other places to invest in Africa to invest in. So I'm going to turn this on.
Gold, oil, natural gas, uranium, platinum, copper, cobalt, iron, bauxite, and cocoa beans. With approximately 30% of the Earth's remaining mineral resources, the continent contains the largest reserves of precious metals, such as gold and platinum. Gold is one of the most profitable mineral exports. Each year, almost 500 tons are produced in countries such as South Africa, Ghana, Mali, and Burkina Faso. To date, 75% of all the world's diamonds have come from the continent, discovered in countries like South Africa, Angola, Botswana, Namibia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. In total, over 1.9 billion carats have been mined, with a value of around $158 billion.
So, I'm going to talk to you about a little bit about our business, Bountiful Harvest Farm, and maybe Joshua wanted to talk about that. This is our logo. And Joshua, can you hear me, Joshua?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Nuga Joshua Oluwasegun. I'm a business partner of Yolanda Grandison, and Basically we're into agriculture in Nigeria, West Africa. Hi, Tama. We're based in Ogun State, and we are into agriculture. Actually, I love this, and Bountiful Harvest Farm, better known as BHBF, was started in 2016. As Yolanda said earlier, we are into pig farming and into cassava and plantains. But at the moment, we're also working on going into palm plantation. We already have our seedlings. We have over 3,085 seedlings ready, and we will be planting next year. We are also going into cashew plantation. These are crops that it takes a couple of years, 3 years thereabout before we start, the first harvest. So we're really going into that. We've been in the pig business for some time now, and it's doing really well. We started small, and it's growing gradually. The pigs, they produce a lot of piglets, and we've been able to expand, and we're growing. So that's what we do right now, and we're focusing on the palm and the cashews by next year, but we're already working on, on those, the land, and all other things. I feel Africa is a beautiful continent and a very good continent to invest. Even though we have, different tribes, different culture, even different beliefs, different religions, I still believe it's a continent rich in, rich in a lot of resources. The land is very fertile. I've been to Togo, I've been to Ghana. I stayed in Ghana for some time, and I've stayed in some parts of Nigeria in the East. I stayed in the East for a couple of years before I moved back to the West while growing up. So I know, and with my experience in farming, I can tell you that Africa is really blessed. We might have little challenges about, we investing, and that is, as I've said earlier, the different cultures. And, for example, now, we're not having stable electricity. Some African countries do have, stable electricity. Like while I was in Ghana, electricity was a lot better than what we have in Nigeria at the moment. But, gradually, if, our leaders and our government will be able to put certain things in place, I believe that would encourage more investors to come in. If we have more good roads, and we have stable electricity, and, and if our governments are, all over Africa could waive off some of the taxes to foreign investors, I feel a lot of people would want to invest more in Africa. And the businesses that are quite lucrative in Africa at the moment that I know of, people are really pumping more resources into agriculture. Some are going into the cashews that we are into, and some are also going into the palm production. And some people are into solar, some are into trading, some are into, exportation of some of these products. As I've said earlier, we have, some risks, and, these risks are challenging the industry in Africa, the lack of infrastructure. Like in Nigeria, for example, we have the issues with the Boko Haram, and that has really scared off a lot of investors. But gradually, things are, getting better. And we are hoping that there will be peace all over. And, and I feel if things are cool all over, more investors would, want to invest in Africa. So, and I also feel if the government will be able to try to curb corruption and, invest, if they can also invest in quality education, all that would encourage people to want to come in to invest. But it's been good so far. A lot of, people are getting to come down to Africa, like in Ghana. A lot of people are coming down to tour and to visit and to look at, different types of ways they could invest or if they could relocate down. And the likes of Nigeria as well, Tanzania and some other places in Africa, people are coming down to see, the motherland and to know where they can invest in order for them to be able to make some other, source of good income. So that's all I have to say for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joshua. Thank you, Yolanda, for that presentation. I'm just going to leave it up for open Q&A session. So if anybody on the call wants to ask Yolanda or Joshua a question or have anything to add, please feel free to unmute yourself and just ask the question.
Okay, can you all hear me?
Yep.
Okay, my name is Shika. I just had a quick question on your business for cashew. Exactly what part of the value chain do you guys intend on being in? The value chain for cashew is quite large. So what part of the value chain for cashew are you guys looking to jump into? Thanks.
Hey, Josh or Yolanda, you guys may be on mute. I'm not sure if you heard the question.
About the question on the cashews, we are, working on planting the cashews and harvesting, and we're trying to produce and sell locally. Pending the time, we'll be able to, have a very big plantation of the cashews, and would be able to work on the necessary things in order for us to be able to export. But as I speak with you right now, we will be planting next year. So, and it's gonna take us like 3 years and some months before we can have our first harvest. And we would start by processing locally and selling locally. Then gradually, we'll get to the point where we have to export to Europe and any other continent. Thank you.
Okay, a follow-up question. So that's an 18 months, that's an 18-month seedling for the cashew. Do you know about that?
I don't understand the question, please.
Okay, you said the maturity date for the cashew for harvest is 3 years, right? But there's 18 months. I read 2-3 years ago that there's an 18 months new seedling, new cashew seedling. Do you know about that?
I don't know anything about that. I've never heard about that, but our contact, works at Cocoa Research. There's a Cocoa Research Institute along Ibadan, getting into Ibadan. So I haven't heard about the cashew seedling that takes 18 months. And, there are different
species.
You have the Greek ones and you have the local ones. So they have, reasons why one seedling is better than the other or one species is better than the other. But I've never heard about the 18 months cashew seedling.
Just a quick question. In follow-up to that, do you guys engage in genetically modified agricultural products?
As I speak with you right now, when you say genetically modified products, I don't know. Are you talking about the long-term crops, or are you talking about, crops like corn, or some
all sort of produce that you guys produces?
we deal more with the ones we have over here that are that are good. Like the cassava, we do more of the
Organic ones.
Yes, exactly, because they produce bigger fruits. It takes time, but they produce well, and they give us good results.
Yeah, it looks like we lost her.
Hello, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah,
Sorry.
we hear you.
Yes, I can hear you now.
I apologize. It gets crazy here sometimes. Okay, so I was saying that I wanted to know more about what you've been doing in the market for the past few years. So you say you invest in some other crops apart from the cashew. So I wanted to know what's the success rate of what you've done, and for how long you've done that. I ask because I've been investing quite a number of agricultural ventures. A very prominent one is agro partnerships, which I'm sure you probably know about. And they give 35%.
More like the farm crowdy stuff.
In 9 months, and I've done at least
it's still
4, 5 cycles with them now. So I'd like to know what you have breaking up. Up on those people on platforms that are established and all, and I just wanted to know, just get a little more understanding also on the more seasonal crops that you do, like the cassava and all. What other ones do you do that are? Farm crowd is different from,
Okay. We are
like
actually
farm crowd, but it's different from agro partnerships. Those are farm forte. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Actually, we are more into the pig stuff, and we're just going into the cash crop stuff, the palm and the cashews. We have done cassava, and we own a planting plantation. So we've not really done so many crops like that, but we've been doing more of the pig farming, the livestock. We've been focusing more on that, and we also own a plantation, and we've done cassava. So that's just what we've done so far, and we're working, as I've said earlier, we are just gonna plant the palm seedlings next year, and also as well as the cashews.
Thank you so much, Joshua. So please, just a announcement. Please try to keep your questions general. If you have any technical questions, please feel free to email Joshua or Yolanda. I know we have 2 people that have questions, Mike and Kayode. So Mike, if you want to unmute yourself and ask your question, please go ahead. Kayode, if you could go ahead with your question. I don't think Mike is ready.
I think my question has already been.
I can hear you. Hello, can I speak?
Go ahead.
My name is Mike.
Okay.
I'm speaking from Lagos, Badagry.
Okay.
I want to ask Joshua this time. I am a public servant.
Okay, sir.
Yes, I'm about retiring from the public service.
Okay.
And I wish I could go into farming.
Okay.
Presently, my wife is encouraging me. She's into a poultry farm, and she does that in the complex where I have. And
Okay.
she produces eggs every day. But we are
Okay.
not in any form. She's not in any form of cooperative. She's not
Okay.
enjoying any government, whether palliative or loans or anything. So I have chosen to be part of that from next year when I shall be leaving the public service.
Okay, sir.
How can this Joshua's farm, how can you encourage poultry as you encourage other, farming systems that I can hear you speak about?
Okay, sir. Am I free to speak now?
I am true.
Go ahead, Josh. Go ahead.
Okay. Sir, I've actually done poultry farming way back when I was in Ghana, in Kumasi. Okay. The farm was located in Ejisu, and Ejisu is in Kumasi. So the thing about poultry farming is this: the risk is very, very high. Recently, just a few weeks ago, I don't know if Yolanda is listening. I was talking to her about the pig farmers are struggling with what they call the swine flu. And
Yes.
thank God we don't have swine flu on our pig farm. But I can tell you, sir, that I've heard of 9 to 10 different farms that are going through a very tough time as we speak. A man actually lost over 100 and something pigs, and he actually got the funds from a bank. So, and the swine flu affected his farm, and he made a total loss. And there's another one like that. The risk in farming is very high, sir. And the truth of the matter is this: farming is very tedious. From the person I learned from, he would always say, agriculture, especially the livestock, is always garbage in, garbage out. Is what you give those animals that they're gonna give back to you. Then you could make something of it. If they are well taken care of and they're well fed and well vaccinated, and you have reliable workers to help you keep an eye on, the livestock, then you wouldn't have any problem. But in a situation whereby, let's say you're not around or you can't supervise them yourself, to make sure they're doing the right thing, to make sure they're giving them clean water, cleaning the pens on a daily basis, I would not advise you to go into it. But if you can create time, or you and madam can run shifts, maybe when you go in the morning, she would supervise the workers. She will be able to keep an eye on the feed and make sure that they are feeding the animals properly. Because if you don't feed them properly, their weight will drop, they will stop producing eggs, and you keep pumping in money and you're not getting the results. Even some of these workers could sell your feed behind your back to other people, so many challenges here and there. But I'm not trying to discourage you, sir, but you need to have, all the time, all the time, even if you have workers. I'm not saying you should be the one carrying the shovel or picking the eggs. You have to keep an eye on them 24/7. You have to keep an eye, and you have to make sure, you know, nobody gets, like me, nobody gets into the farm of Yolanda and myself with their shoes, you know, because of the swine flu. So, and I think, you know, these are the little mistakes that people make, and before you know it, you know. But for me, poultry, the risk in poultry is a lot higher than pig farming or goat farming or even fish farming. The risk is very high. In Ghana, in Kumasi, we started with 3,085 birds. I could still remember way back 2007. No, way back 2012, sorry. Yes, 2012, 2013. We have 6 pens, and we had layer birds from a day old, foreign breeds. They were layer birds from a day old, and believe you me, they did very well, and they were laying well, and we were able to make money from them. But it's because, you know, I go to the farm from Sunday to Saturday. There is no holiday for poultry farming. There is no holiday. There's no excuse that, oh, you want to travel somewhere and you leave the workers with your farm. No, it's not possible. You have to be there 24. You know, if you're not there, madam will be there, or someone you trust will be around to keep an eye on them. So poultry farming is good, but the risk is high, sir. And you need to tread carefully, sir, before you go into it full time.
We are there already.
Yeah. So it's good. It's good. Preferably, don't lay your eggs in one basket by just going into the layers alone. You can do some broilers. You know, the broilers would only take you 8 weeks or max of maybe 10 weeks if they are properly fed and well taken care of. And you could sell that while the eggs you make. And this is what we do when I was in Ghana. We have some customers that they deposit for the eggs, you know, before the eggs are even available. So the money you get from them as well could be used to buy more feed and to keep, you know, running the farm. So that's my advice, sir.
All right, thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Mike, for your question. Fred, I know you have a question, but I just want to call on Benjamin just to add a little insights on investing in Africa. So Benjamin, please feel free to add some insights on investing in Africa.
Hi, thank you. I'm Benjamin. I live in Pretoria, South Africa, and it's nice to meet you all. So since we're talking about investing in Africa, I would like to shift the attention from farming into other industries in Africa where there are, you know, growing opportunities. Currently, I'm in the security, information technology, culture and arts, as well as esports. And no, sorry, not just esports, and real estate as well. And my major focus right now, seeing, I mean, for what I've observed, the plan that Africa has and the hope for Africa in terms of its development and markets, I've decided to concentrate more in the information technology as well as arts and culture. But I'm going to speak about information technology. As we all know, data is very, very valuable. And we have about 1.5 billion people in Africa. And that's a huge market for information technology, data per se. And investing in servers, investing in telecommunication tools that would help connect Africans within Africa is a major gap that people are, I'm not saying people now, I'm saying Africans are not really paying attention to. And if you do a bit of research, you see that Amazon is beginning to penetrate. Amazon is now bringing and investing in servers. They started in South Africa already. And I believe once they've set up and they've established here, they'll move down, up west and north. So currently, I'm starting off with a group of people and some other MBAs like myself. We're trying to see how we can establish our own foot in the growing industry of information technology in Africa. And if you are looking to invest in, I would label it new money in Africa, you should think information technology. I know the farming is good. I mean, everyone needs food. It's never going to go out of fashion. It's always going to be there. You'll always make money from farming, but data is the new food, if that makes sense. And I don't know what else. If anyone has a question to ask, they can freely ask me so that we can stir up the conversation from there.
I just had one question from Seke. He had the question. I'm not sure who was speaking, but you could ask the question after this one. Somebody mentioned, it said, aside from Amazon, who are the other major players and from which country? I think he mentioned Amazon is American.
Yes, currently Amazon is the only, I say Amazon because they've got the resources. So right now, what they're doing is actually testing the market and seeing how things are going to be. But I believe the market is there because for them to be here, Facebook is also planning to penetrate. Twitter is also planning to penetrate.
I heard Google also.
All these top tech companies are penetrating Africa already. But the problem is it's not been the interest is more from the Americans than Africans. And I see a danger with that because if the Americans have all the data of all the Africans, that might stir up another sort of colonization or slavery with Africans. If we don't grab that now, because it's ours, they see it already and they're penetrating slowly. If we Africans don't invest in that and say, no, we have the power, we have the resources, we can actually invest in data, in all this, store the data, save the data, and protect our data for our people. If we don't do that now, then we're now leaving the gap open to the Americans and the Europeans. Because trust me, I don't know if most of you aren't aware, in the next 50 years, they will know what we're doing, where we go, how we shop, what we like, who our great-grandfathers, who DNA data, everything. They will own it if we don't start investing in capturing, storing, and saving data for Africans by Africans.
So how do we do this? Like, how do we invest? How do we learn more?
Well, I think if we found companies who are interested in being, how do I explain this? If we had African companies, anyone, might be me, might be my, whatever, had these companies and we all saw that, these guys are actually, they know what they're doing and they're progressing. They have a vision, they have a plan, the objectives are there, as well as, future of making profits from it and whatnot. Yes, it will be cool. I mean, it's good to make profit, but the end goal is to protect Africans at the end of the day. Because For me, that's actually what's more important. Fine, yeah, the profit is good. I can't go into business without making profit as an entrepreneur, but the main objective should be to protect the data. And if we can find someone who has that vision and idea and has started something and is trying to build that, we can propel that person or the group of, or the partnership or the group of people and their company, and then that can lead to that company or investment being bigger than it originally started as.
So Benjamin, can everyone hear me?
Yeah, we can, Akin.
So I go by the name Akin, Aki Busari. So I'm an IT consultant in Canada. I've been living here for about, a little over 16 years now. But I have investments in Africa myself. So from farming to like retail outlet, which is a supermarket. And, funny enough, I just registered an IT company in Nigeria. And the goal is to build a data storage, a data center to collect and store data. And I completely agree with what Benjamin said, because if we don't protect the African data, it's like we're giving our records out to, to others, right? Who can then in turn use that record against us. So for instance, they can create, viruses or like, diseases or something that is specifically geared towards our DNA, which is very dangerous. And you just wonder, like, people like that are from a particular tribe are just dying, but it's because they've studied our DNA, they've studied our buying habits, they've studied everything. They know the kinds of products to sell to us, how to sell to us, where we buy and everything like that. So it's really, really important. So the research that I'm doing right now currently is actually figuring out how to, to get money from I think Pamela was the one that asked the question, how to get investors and also how to make it a profitable business. So I store this data for African companies and individuals as well, but how do I get revenue from that as a person? I also connected with another IT company in Nigeria called Lockdown. They build mobile apps right now. So we're finding ways to basically work together. So Benjamin, I can connect with you as well later after this, and then we can take the discussion further and see how we can collaborate and work together. My company is based in West Africa, Nigeria, and I think you mentioned South Africa. You're in South Africa, so that's really, really good. And I know another guy that is in East Africa that is planning something similar. So we can all connect and try to figure out ways to do this together collectively. But I'm really glad you brought that up. And one other thing I want to say that is a very lucrative field in Africa that we need to pay attention to is fintech technologies, right? The ability to transfer, to do money transfer among ourselves. Like for instance, I've traveled on the corridor of West Africa. If you leave Nigeria to the Republic of Benin, you have to change your money to CFA. You leave from Benin to Togo, you have to change your money. Togolese have CFA again. Then you go to Ghana, you change your money back to cedis. You're losing all the value of the currencies, right? We have to find a way among ourselves to be able to trade using technology to be able to do that. So I can, if I want to buy, like with the African Intercontinental Free Trade Agreement that was just signed, it means we can trade among ourselves freely, right? So if I want to buy something from Benjamin now, I should be able to send him money, my Nigerian Naira, and he should be able to get that money in the same, get that value, equivalent value, right? Without me really losing and putting extra money into it. So we have to find ways to use technology to be able to send money amongst ourselves. So that's another field that we need to look into. And the last thing I'm going to say is Joshua, I believe he talked about poultry farming. I'm into poultry farming myself. if I can share my screen, I don't know if I can share. I can show you guys my farm. You know, we have about 100 birds right now. We're still trying to grow. But it's really profitable field. Like he said, you know, you have to have someone on ground. I'm here in Canada, but one of the great things, you know, that I have is partnership. And I think everyone should try to leverage that as well. If you're in the diaspora, work with someone on ground.
You can share your screen.
I can share my screen? Okay. Let me see. All right. So let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, it's up.
This is my you know, poultry farm. But you know, like I was saying, like I mentioned earlier, right? We have to consider partnership. Like, you know, I find that people tend to support an idea or a vision or something that they are part of. So what I do with all my business model is, because I'm not on ground, I partner with the locals. So with my farm, a cousin of mine owns 10% of the farm. So his job is just to manage the farm. But he's on document, we've signed agreements and so on. So he's a co-owner of the farm. So he's more passionate about the farm. He goes there every day because he has a stake in the farm, right? If the farm does well, if we get money, at the end of the day, he will share from the profit. So he's more passionate about, you know, he's taking care of the farm like his, right? With my supermarket as well, same concept. Let me see if I have images of that.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point that you made, right? A lot of people are really, you know, afraid to invest in Africa, but I think what you just mentioned is really key, because if you have maybe a family member or a friend that has a stake in the company, you know, they should be able to take, I know you didn't give the person 50-50, but they have, you know, a 10% stake.
Exactly, exactly. So with my supermarket, is my best friend my childhood friend. We grew up together in Nigeria. So I gave him 20% of the stake of the supermarket. So I have 80%, but he has 20%. It's on document. We have agreement. So, I mean, he manages it like his baby. So he will write me, give me weekly updates. This is how much we made. He will deposit the money in the account. So everything is just, you know, it's like a system where you just put it, you set it up. You don't have to, you know, manage it day-to-day, the day-to-day operations. And then I can focus on other things, right? So I think we, especially that are Africans or Black in the diaspora, we need to consider, you know, partnership when we're going to Africa, so we can work together with the locals. That's one thing I want to mention. And I think Joshua said foreign investors. We don't really want foreign investors, you know, because if we're going to put everything in the, you know, in a historical context, you see that we're dealing with other people, other groups of people. I mean, they come to steal, to kill, and to destroy, really. And we want Black people, man. We want our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, you know, to come back home and invest. Not like the Chinese or the you know, the other people, you know what I mean? Because they just come to extract resources from Africa. They don't really care about the locals. They don't want to give back to the country, the community. You know, we want more of our brothers and sisters, man. Those that care about the people. I like what Yolanda said, that, you know, she got an opportunity to sell to like a big corporation, but she preferred to, you know, to deal with the locals and to sell to the locals. That's amazing. That's what we want. That's the only way we have to build. We have to build Africa ourselves, man. So that's what I have to say. I don't know if anybody has anything else to add.
Can I just conclude with what Akin just said? Yeah, so investing in Africa is great. It's something that needs to be done, no doubt.
I have a question,
but
please.
We've got a lot of barriers, a lot of the major blockage in Africa is politics, the government. You cannot invest in Africa without being involved with the government. The government does not care about innovating or creating ways to improve the economy. They sit back and wait for people to bring ideas. And once the idea comes up, they want to collect their own cut. That's what it is. And because that is the norm in Africa, it will be very difficult for even startups to succeed. It will be very difficult for startups to gain, to gain investors to come in and invest. This is something that needs to be put into consideration when we talk about investing in Africa. We can't say, yeah, we want to do all these things, we want to do that, yeah, all great. But we all know that we cannot invest without the involvement of the government in Africa. It's impossible. You want to do your farms, you do your farms, if you do your farm to feed and you sell, it's buy and sell, right? You still involved, the government is still going to be involved one way or the other. Investing in Africa is great. I am 100% on it, but the problem of the government also needs to be talked about. It needs to be said. Companies, businesses will not grow.
Enabling environment.
Can I say something, Mr. Benjamin?
Okay.
Yeah, I know you're right when you said the government and, but I also feel, growing up, most kids are being taught that charity starts from home. I feel generally Africans, we ourselves, we need to show more love. Aside from the government, you've seen people because of greed. I feel even the politicians, why they do all of this is because they're greedy. And let's just put the politicians or those in government aside. I feel so many people, even personally, that are not politicians, they don't even encourage even their relatives that are, in diaspora to come back home to want to do some Africans.
I have a feedback to that, if I may.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to bring that together, right? I don't want us to lose touch of the two messages there. Joshua, I understand where you're coming from, and Benjamin, you bring up a good point as well. I think what I want to do there is, you guys keep in mind that what Benjamin is really trying to say is, we can have all these business ideas, and Joshua, we can encourage people. Like, I have family back home and they're always telling me, hey, there's a line that just opened up, are you interested? Or, hey, keep an eye out for this. But after all of that, there's always that kind of a but that comes with it, as, the only risk is the government might come in and just kind of take everything, right? And I think that's where Benjamin is coming from. And to me, while we talk about the businesses, and encouraging each other, I think it's probably also important, right? And Wale, maybe we can talk about this offline a little bit. It's probably also important to look at forming, I don't know how many lawyers are amongst us, or how many people have connects with lawyers, and just kind of look at how we can put together a group that looks into making sure some of these things are more secure when folks actually venture into these businesses, so that those risks, right? Because there are going to be other risks, like Joshua discussed before with some poetry and stuff, right? But the ones that we can try and control, or the ones that can locate and take everything away from us, we know we have something that's handling that. And then let's worry about swine flu or whatever kind of flu and all that stuff. That way people will feel more encouraged. Because Joshua, believe it or not, one of the reasons people are not investing back home is not family. It is actually government. Folks are actually worried about government stepping in. And I'm not blaming, no, don't get me wrong. I'm not blaming everything on government. Don't get me wrong. But I know what you're saying. I think what I'm saying is, there's the difficulty, which is discouraging, right? Of when you go home and you're trying to do something, and there's that risk of them taking over. And I think Benjamin is just saying that's just one of many risks that we need to keep in mind. It's not saying that it's the single sole thing that's an issue.
Thank you so much, Uzi, for your contribution. Like I said, we're going to continue this conversation on our session on Tuesday. We have a session called Talk to Us Tuesdays. We could go more in depth with with this conversation. Everybody had valid points, and everybody's bringing, on different ideas and different investment. We really appreciate everybody's contribution and everybody's questions. So we're kind of over the time. So I'm just going to give an opportunity for Mr. Mike. I think he had a question that he wanted to ask, I think, Benjamin. So Mr. Mike, if you just want to ask your question before we wrap up.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Mr. Mike.
Okay. I wanted to ask Mr. Akin Busari a question, just one question. Where his own contact point is like he's into poultry, which I am interested in very, very much. I am doing it with my wife right now on a small scale, like I did say before. If it's within Lagos, I'm in Badagry. So is there any way we can link each other on this African Business Club? Thank you, Akin.
Okay, sir. Really great question. I'm not in Lagos. I am in Osun State. So Osun State is where the poultry is. But if you need any form of assistance or any help, I can organize for my farm manager to meet with you, so I can connect with you and let my farm manager meet with you, and he will, show you and answer all the questions that you have, and maybe.
Honestly,
yeah,
that would be very nice.
Yes, sir.
I'm so privileged. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just want to make a very, very quick contribution. First of all, I want to say a very big thank you to the organizers of this forum. This is very good. I wish we've been doing this for a while back, but very good. A very quick contribution is that while we hold all those problems that we have in Africa constant, we cannot look away from the advantages of getting involved in entrepreneurship, businesses, and collaborations. Because if we don't do it, others will do it. And they know we have those problems, but they still come to invest in Africa anyway. Okay? So, I mean, we just probably need to be more careful. Don't throw all your eggs in one basket. Start small so that, hey, God forbid something don't go right. You don't lose your shirt over that. So that's just my own contribution. Let's go ahead and collaborate and start ventures anyway, as small as we can, so that we do not totally lose the continent to others. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was a great point, and I definitely agree. Like we say in African Business Club, collaboration over competition. And I think as Africans, we really need to start collaborating. And it's part of the reasons why we put this club together. And hopefully we can keep doing that. I know our time is fast spent, but for our last segment, I will just ask Yolanda really quick to give us, Yolanda and Joshua, to give us very quick something we call a common sense finance. Common sense finance tip is just something that's common, but a lot of people are not doing. So we'd like for our speakers to always give us a common sense finance tip as a last segment.
Do you want to go first, Joshua, or you want me to go first? It doesn't matter. I'll go first. Well, it's not really common. My thing is make money in Africa, make money in America, invest in Africa. Because like I said before, that I was hearing everybody, and yes, partnership and entrepreneurship is one of the best things. I'm able, because of what I do here in America, to invest in Africa. And I always say that what you put your money in is very, very important, because other groups put their money in their own group. And I feel that we should do that. Stop with the negativity, because negativity and positiveness is and once you have positive feelings, you get positive reactions and positive dealings. So I feel that between the diaspora and America and Africa, put the money together. Do not let the money go out of, I call it a family. And so that is my thing in everything, is where I put my money is very important. I don't put my money in things that I don't agree with. I don't put my money in things that do not help, for me, the Black community. So therefore, for me, I don't, you know, and I understand the problems in Africa, but let me tell you, we have problems all over the world, and everybody always try to say, oh, it's a lot of problems there, but it's a problems in the United States too, because it limits me. And people don't understand that because I'm an American, that wherever I am in the world, I have to pay taxes to the United States. Is that right? You know, and that's a problem for me. So my thing is that, you know, put whatever you do in America, invest, let it go back to Africa. I mean, you know, that's my thing for my common sense.
Platform. And Yolanda said something in the beginning of our presentation that back in 2016, when she started investing in Africa, it's not a common thing. Well, guess what? It's 2020 and it's still not common. And we are hoping we can change our mindset about this. And I'm just going to put a disclaimer out there. I'm not saying we should all move back to Africa. Akin is in Canada and is making moves in Africa. A lot of us, including me, you know, I'm guilty of this. We go home in December almost every year. And when we go home, we just go to the parties. We go to our family members. Let's start once in a while when we go home, look at what opportunities are out there. You don't have to do it the first time you are there, but next time you go home, maybe not this year due to COVID-19, but maybe next year when you go to Nigeria, Ghana, whatever country, and even if you don't have a home country, if you're an African American, you can visit. Ghana has the return of year of the return. So we can visit and see what's out there. And you'll be surprised, there's a lot of opportunities in Africa, apart from farming, and there's just a whole lot of things, real estate, that we can do in Africa. So I just encourage everyone. And I want to say thanks to Yolanda and Joshua, thanks to Akin, thanks to Benjamin and Mr. Mike, to everybody that contributed. As Wale said earlier, we have our Talk to Us Tuesday, where we will continue this conversation. This is a conversation I'm hoping everybody can get involved in. We can normalize this conversation. So not this Tuesday coming, the following Tuesday, we have our Talk to Us Tuesday. We'll post the invitation out. Please join us. Let's get deep. Let's dig deeper into this conversation and look at the opportunities in Africa. It's really great. And I encourage everyone to look into it. And lastly, let's remember we are all kings and queens, and let's treat each other as such. And let's just love one another. And thanks everyone for your time. Once again, it's African Business Club. Our goal is to normalize financial literacy and promote collaboration among Africans. Thank you, everyone. With that said, peace and love. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, man.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks everyone for joining.